everybody to another edition of Time Out Overtime on the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenal, and we've got a lot to talk about tonight. Review the weekend, what transpired with the Lions, and a quick Tiger review. But first of all, I want to congratulate the city of Detroit. Folks, you did yourself proud. More than 700,000 people, a record-setting event for the NFL draft. You pulled this off without a hitch. Everybody who was responsible for doing anything in this event needs a big round of applause. Detroit, pat yourselves on the back. You did really well, and you can be very proud of this event. And I'm sure the NFL is too. Like I said, it went off without a hitch. No problems. Everybody had a good time. People from all over the country. Nice going, Detroit. Congratulations. You did good. You did well. Now, we'll do a little quick baseball recap, and then we'll get to the Lions in the draft. The Tigers just finished a weekend series with the Kansas City Royals, who were coming into Comerica hot. They were playing very well. Tigers took 2 out of 3 with a 4-1 win today. Another great outing from Tarik Skubal. And really, if it hadn't been for a literal game-robbing home run, I mean, this ball was over the fence. The outfielder, last name is Frazier, I'm sorry, I forgot his first name, literally leaped over the fence, got the ball, and brought it back in. If it were not for that at the time, Parker Meadows hit that, it would have given the Tigers a 2-1 lead, and I think they would have gone on to win that game. They would have swept the Royals. Instead, they still won 2 out of 3. So, nice going. Pitching's good. They need to clean up the defense a little bit. And a quick look at the standings. The Guardians just lost 2 out of 3 to the Braves. So currently, as they sit right now at 19-9, they're in first. Royals are in second place. 17-12. The Tigers are right behind them at the 16-12. So the Royals are 2.5 back. Tigers are 3 back. Best start they've gotten off to in 7 years. And they, in my opinion, they haven't been really playing that well yet. They're capable of playing much better than what they are. So far, so good. And next up, they've got the St. Louis Cardinals coming to Comerica now for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow night. It'll be Maeda, Flaherty, and Olsen going for the Tigers in those 3 games. 2 night games, Monday and Tuesday, and a day game on Wednesday. Cardinals come in 13-15, and right now they're in last place in the National League Central. They're not hitting much, and the pitching hasn't been all that good either. It's not your typical St. Louis Cardinal team. So hopefully they don't get hot until they leave Detroit. So Tigers can keep it going, but they'll have to clean the defense up a little bit. So that's where that stands right now. Let's get on to football. Before we do, I want to put in just a quick word for gentlemen. Pardon me, just a second. I think everybody's having this issue this time of the year. That's better. Tim Lindley at Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale, 37 Waldron Street, about 150 to 100 feet west of Howell Street, is the best tech service guy in the area. He's so tech savvy, it's not funny. He and his assistant, Zach, in the store there, you won't find 2 smarter guys when it comes to tech services. I mean, anything. If you have if you look in the market for a new computer, or maybe the one you have needs some work done on it, you'd like to buy a nice used computer, he'll fix you right up. Maybe you just bought a flat screen smart TV that needs to be mounted and programmed. Tim will take care of that for you. Anything. Printers, new or used. Get in there and see him. You can give him a call at the 517-610-5372, or better still, get in there and see him. Again, he's at 37 Waldron Street, downtown Hillsdale. Get in there and see him. And when you do, tell him Rick sent you. I would appreciate that very much. Thank you. quickly looking at the Lions, they had 6 picks. 4 of those 6 picks, they moved up, they gave up draft capital to get their man. And they really needed to address the secondary, and they did that. They made a concerted effort to do that. And first pick they made, they moved up from 29 to 24. They had to trade a third-round pick to do that. So when you stop and look at it, when the NFL season began back in March with free agency, the Lions had 2 3-round picks. They gave up 1 pick to trade to Tampa to get Carlton Davis. And then, of course, they traded the other pick yesterday, or Thursday night, they traded the other pick to move up to get Terrion Arnold. And folks, the minute his name was announced, cornerback from Alabama, Terrion Arnold, the minute his name was announced, he became their best corner. I went over Tim Twentyman's last mock draft. I believe it was Thursday afternoon. Yeah, it was. And Tim had him going number 12 overall of Miami, I think it was. I couldn't, of course, that run, the first 14 players taken were all offense. So that run on offense did help the Lions. He fell, and the consensus is Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo, who went 2 picks earlier to Philly, were slightly better than Terrion Arnold. Well, I don't know about that. And Mitchell, I'm not taking anything away from Mitchell, but he played at Toledo in the Mid-America Conference. Arnold played in the Southeast Conference with Alabama. Again, I don't mean to take anything away from Mitchell. I'm sure he's fine. He'll have a fine NFL career, but I don't think there's any rebut or argument. The SEC is a much better Division I conference, football conference, than the Mid-America Conference. You're not playing Bowling Green or Eastern Michigan or Ball State. You're playing the big boys down there, Ole Miss and LSU, teams like that. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is I think Arnold is better than Mitchell. Only time will tell. But like I said, the minute his name was announced, he became the Lions' number 1 corner. He will start. Yeah, right now your starting secondary looks like Carlton Davis and Terrion Arnold at the corners. The safeties, Ife Melifonwu and Kirby Joseph. And of course, your nickelback is Brian Branch. Those are your starting 5. As he said in his post-draft press conference yesterday, Brad Holmes, and he's got to say this. He said, look, we're not going to just hand the number 1, the starting spot over to Arnold. He's going to have to earn it. He said the same thing about Rakestraw. He's going to have to earn playing time. But it's a given with his talent, as good as he is. He's going to start. But I like the rotation back there you've got now with Arnold and Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson, and don't forget, coming off of another ACL, they've got Emmanuel Mosley coming back too. Let's face it, the Achilles heel for the Lions last year was the secondary, and they made a concerted effort to take care of that. And when you look at all the wide receivers now in the NFC North, you know who I'm talking about. The Jeffersons and the DJ Moore, and now they've got Rome Odunze with the Bears. These young men are going to have their work cut out for them, and I'm sure the new secondary coach, Deshae Townsend, can't wait to get started with them. I think rookie camp comes up here in a couple of weekends from now. We'll get our first look at them then. Anyway, let's go over this draft list here. So they gave up a 3rd-round pick to get Terrion Arnold. That was on Thursday night. Friday night, they stayed at 61. And again, another guy. I was seeing mocks that had him going late in the 1st round. Ennis Rakestraw Jr. Out of Missouri. And he is a physical back. A lot like, to me, he reminds me a lot of Kirby Joseph. Very physical. And he might be a little bit better right now at zone coverage as far as man-to-man goes. But he's good. And again, I was surprised either one of these first two picks were going to be there. Then Saturday, of course, as I said, the Lions didn't have a third round pick. So they get to the fourth round and they traded up into the fourth round. And again, took a young man, pardon me, that not too many people had heard of. And I guess a lot of people assume since they haven't heard of the guy or seen his name in any mock drafts, he must not be any good. And you're trading up, giving up draft capital to get this guy. You got to believe in Brad. In Brad, we trust. Okay, let Brad cook. Man obviously knows what he's doing. Anyway, they traded up into the fourth round to get Giovanni Manu, a massive offensive tackle from the University of British Columbia. 6'8", 352, runs a 40-yard dash in 5 seconds flat. Okay. It would not surprise me if next year he is your starting right guard. And Penei Sewell moves over to right tackle. I'm sorry. And Penei Sewell moves over to left tackle. Taylor Ducker has made it known that he'd like to finish his career here in Detroit, but he is 30 years old now. And I rather doubt that the Lions will extend him or give him a new contract, but time will tell. So I'm kind of anxious to see this guy, Giovanni Manu. Again, in the fourth round, they traded up to get a running back / safety out of Utah, Sione Vakai. I guess running back / safety. Well, forget the safety. When he was in Allen Park 2 or 3 weeks ago, he spent the majority of his time huddling with the offensive staff. This guy, folks, I went in when I heard about this, heard that they had drafted him. I immediately went in and looked at his highlights from last year, and specifically looking at the game, the Utah game with Southern Cal. This guy is something else. You're going to enjoy watching him run. He's expected to challenge Craig Reynolds for playing time as that third running back. Also, too, you got to remember with the new kickoff rules, this guy will be returning kicks. He's an excellent receiver, great pair of hands. You're going to enjoy watching him run. To me, this is the most intriguing pick of the whole draft for all 6 of these players the Lions drafted. In the 6th round, they moved up again to take Mekhi Wingo, a defensive tackle out of the LSU. Again, watching this guy's highlights. He's undersized, but he's very quick, moving sideline to sideline. This guy's all over the place. I fully expect him this year already to be a part of the defensive tackle rotation. And I didn't expect him to be there either. Where was I looking at something? I want to read this piece of the Free Press. Was it? Yeah, here we go. The Lions picked up LSU defensive tackle Mekhi Wingo with the 189th pick in the 6th round after trading up 16 spots. Then finished trading up by grabbing Boston College guard Christian Mahogany. And I was shocked he was there in the 6th round. In fact, when they took Mahogany in the 6th round, I thought, well, wait a minute. I thought he was already drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round. I was shocked he was still there. And I'm sure the Lions were. That was their last pick, number 210. The Lions pulled off 2 trades to go up into the 4th round to grab of course, I already said Giovanni Manu, Utah running back, Sione Vakai. Those 4 joined first-round corners. Okay, then the rest of that, I just wanted to point out what they're saying about Brad Holmes here. The 6-person class came together through a flurry of trades up to secure Arnold Manu, Vaca, and finished up with general manager Brad Holmes, going again to grab Wingo and staying put at 210 to take Mahogany. I've got a list here too written down of what the national media has to say about the Lions and their draft and how they did. Did we cover everybody that they drafted? I think we did. Yeah. This 2024 draft class will likely be known for the aggressiveness of the team's front office to move up like they did. They had selections. They took 6 picks. They had 6 selections. To get 4 of those young men, they had to move up. They traded a 3rd and a 7th round pick this year, and they had enough draft capital. They traded a 3rd and a 4th round pick next year to move up. And look, the Lions have already said if they have resolve on any player, they're going to move up to get him. And these guys, as Brad Holmes will tell you, checked all the boxes as far as what they look for in players. Character being another thing. So looking at the day after the draft grades from across the media, it looks like the Lions earned a certain amount of trust. In a survey of 11 different league-wide draft grades, every single evaluator gave the Lions a B- or higher, with nearly half offering a grade of A in the A range. Also, well over half the analysts had the Lions with a top 10 draft class this year. So let's see exactly where they put these guys. Trevor Sikkema of Pro Football Focus gave the Lions an A. Danny Kelly of the Daily Ringer gave the Lions an A. Sports Illustrated Matt Vertame gave the Lions an A. Sporting News Vinny Iyer gave the Lions an A. The staff at the Bleacher Report gave the Lions an A-. USA Today, Nate Davis gave the Lions a B. NFL.com, Chad Reuter gave the Lions a B. Mel Kiper of ESPN gave the Lions a B. Rob Maddie of the Associated Press gave the Lions a B. Chris Trapasso of CBS gave the Lions a B-. And Ryan Dunleavy of the New York Post gave the Lions a B. Sounds like everybody liked the Lions draft class, didn't they? By the way, too, I have a list of immediately after the draft finished. The Lions drafted several free agents. I've got that list here. Wide receiver Isaiah Williams out of Illinois. Keep an eye on him. He's a little bit undersized, but he had a good year for the Illini. Another wide receiver, Jalen Calhoun out of Duke. A tight end, Isaac Rex out of BYU. Brian Hudson, an offensive lineman out of Louisville. Center, Duke Clemens out of UCLA. A guard, Isaac Ukwa out of Ole Miss. Here's one I like. Linebacker, Steele Chambers out of Ohio State. Is that a name for a linebacker or what? Steele Chambers? You got to wonder whether that's his real name or not. Who would name their son Steele? Anyway. Linebacker, Darren Gilbert out of Northern Illinois. Shaylin Garnes, a safety out of Wake Forest. A long snapper, Hogan Hatton out of Idaho. And edge, Nate Lynn out of William and Mary. They also, we good to see they signed the Wolverines kicker, James Turner, to bring him in to compete with Badgley in training camp. And don't forget the name Jake Bates, too. I think they still have interest in him. That's the long kicker for the Michigan Panthers, who's kicking field goals of 60 yards or more. They also took a quarterback and didn't take a quarterback. They signed quarterback Maurice Norris out of Fresno State. And one more, a tight end, Isaac Rex out of BYU. Look, all in all, most the majority of the people are giving the Lions, majority of the media are putting them in the top 10 draft class. Obviously, look, time will tell as just to how successful this draft was, but you got to like it. You got to like what they did. And like I said, secondary is a lot better right now than it was last season. And they're not going to. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell will tell you they're not going to just give a starting spot to anybody. They're going to have to go out there and earn it, and I'm sure that Terrion Arnold will do just that. I'm anxious to see these guys play, especially Arnold and Rakestraw. All in all, I'd say it was a very successful weekend for the Lions and Brad Holmes. Brad, you did it again, man. You hit another grand slam. Look, let Brad cook. Again, you had irate people calling the flagship this weekend because they were mad about the fact that the Lions were giving up draft capital for some player they never heard of. In the case of Giovanni Manu, folks, half of the league, there were 16 teams that went to his pro day. So just because ESPN didn't have any tape or film on him, or you didn't see his name come up in a mock draft, doesn't mean the kid's any good. This is what I don't like. You would think Brad Holmes by this time would have earned the respect of Lion fans, given what he's done the first 3 years here. Pardon me just a second. Must quench my thirst again. I'm about ready to wrap it up anyway. Bottom line is, I think the Lions had a very successful draft. 6 fine young men. I think they'll all make the team. So we look forward, I think, not this coming weekend. I think the second weekend in May is the rookie mini camp. I'll have to double check on that, but pretty sure that's what it is. So until we meet again, this is Sunday night, so I would say Tuesday or Wednesday. Don't forget the Time Out with Andy Brown show Saturday mornings from 9 to 10 on WCSR here locally, 92.1. Andy will be gone this week as he has an assignment elsewhere, but we're still going to do the show. So don't forget to tune in from 9 to 10. We'll have a lot to talk about. And until then, take care of yourselves, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Oh, don't forget, like and subscribe, please, very much.